uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. We are definitely going to be here. Let me go ahead and get the announcement up. Is the third annual pre-Labor Day car show by Twisted Outlaws on September 3rd at the Stockyard, by the Stockyard there in Holiday, Florida. The Sports Web will definitely be out there. You'll have raffles, vendors, cash prizes, show cars, car audio, and of course the evolution of sports talk television. Get out there. The address is 1916 U.S. Highway 19 in Holiday, Florida. Here we go.
The third annual pre-Labor Day car show is speeding your way September 3rd, only at the Stockyard in Holiday, Florida, with cash prizes, raffles, and vendors from all over Pasco County. Don't miss out on this year's car show competition, where we are handing out trophies for Best of Show, Best Audio Setup, Best Paint Job, Best Original Design, and many, many more. Call today for more information.
I love that. Here's where I will be on September 3rd. on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick up their first win in the preseason, 13-6 over the New York Jets. How do we start off this show as we always do here on a Monday, Wednesday, and of course, pre- and post-game editions. Maybe not for the preseason, but for the regular season, and of course, a post-game show. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Really quick, just want to shout out my former co-host here, Sean the Sports Don. Happy birthday, brother. And I tell you right now, if you don't have Sean the Sports Don, you more than likely don't have the sports web. You don't have a fan experience. Guys, I definitely want to hear from you tonight. What do you think about this Bucs game? I get it. It's preseason, but some things were decided tonight. Some players played well, and some others not so much.
This guy sucks.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, and you should be able to, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528 as the Bucs pick up their first win in the preseason. Looking at Todd Bowles right now, I think there's any time now that somebody is about to announce that the starter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be Baker Mayfield. And I get it. Kyle Trask tonight played well, 20 for 28, 218 yards, 1 touchdown. Was he victimized by the offensive line? Absolutely. Was he victimized by some drop passes? Absolutely. But if you look inside the numbers, that's what I kind of do when I do this show. You know, I try to give some type of perspective because sometimes those numbers are just a little bit inflated. The first 4 drives, 9 for 13 for 54 yards, and no passes longer than 10 yards. The offense struggled tonight with the first 4 drives, and then you get one. You get a big play by Sean Tucker, who right now looks like he could be in the driver's seat. Besides Chase Edmonds, he's going to make this team. You could see why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were so excited to have him as an undrafted free agent, right? And the reason why you get him as an undrafted free agent is because of the health problems. 27 yards on 4th down, and then an underthrown pass, a great catch by Trey Palmer for 33 yards for the first touchdown in the preseason. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Eric, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight? Welcome to the Sports Web.
What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy?
Special. The Rays didn't win, but the Rays are having a field day right now.
Yes, I absolutely heard that. Last check was 6-0, and they lost the first game. Okay.
It's 11-1 right now.
11-1. Okay, well, there you go. We're watching Bucs football.
Trash. Man, how about this Palmer MVP? Palmer's amazing, man.
Well, if you have an MVP for preseason, sure, yeah, but he's got to show it on the field. But he's definitely been, very impressive, especially with that catch tonight. That wasn't a great throw. That was an underthrown ball that was tipped up by Palmer.
Yeah.
All right, what else, Eric?
Do you really think Baker Mayfield won this job?
Yes.
It's really over.
Yeah, I think he's won the job, and I tell you why. Because if he wanted to play him, you would have played him when John Wolford went out with a neck injury, and you didn't. You put in Kyle Trask instead.
Yeah.
So that makes lots of sense, right? That Baker Mayfield is going to be your starter. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if there was some type of competition, wouldn't you want to see Baker Mayfield play a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay then.
Yeah. How about
okay,
the defense? How about the Bucs defense?
Yeah, Bucs defense was good tonight. 3 turnovers. That's encouraging. That's exactly what you want to see. Again, most of the starters didn't play for this team, but it was encouraging to see. You saw William Golston play a lot of snaps. Tell you what, Eric, thanks a lot for the call. Yes, finish up.
Like?
Yes.
Man, the Rays are doing good without Juan Franco.
They definitely are, my friend.
Hey,
Appreciate.
you know what else? I heard he's not on commercials no more. You got him. He's off of commercials.
Yes, they've taken him off commercials, Eric. They absolutely have. There's
That's
there's
sad. It's very sad.
it's very sad. There's lots of allegations out there. I'm not going to get into it, but
no,
we'll definitely
sorry.
learn more. That's okay. No problem. No problem. Thanks for the call, Eric. Appreciate you.
Have a good
As
night. I know
always.
you've been so busy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah!
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Open phone lines. Curtis, I saw you calling in. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight? Do you agree that Baker Mayfield is going to be your starter week 1 versus the Vikings? Welcome.
Okay, well, here's my question for you.
Yes.
Number one, I just got off work. I couldn't even watch the game.
Okay.
Tell me what I missed.
Well, what you missed is a lot of people saying, Trask played well, which he did. I mean, you look at the numbers. Yes, 20 for 28, 218, 1 touchdown. Did some things there. Didn't necessarily get all the help in the world with the offensive line. Had some drop passes. But again, the first 4 drives, nothing to write home about. That's been the story of this team. Not getting off to quick starts. And then you got that drive there in the second quarter. You got a touchdown pass to Trey Palmer. But I think the most telling thing about the whole deal with this game tonight is the fact that when John Wolford went out with a neck injury, which he went to a local hospital, according to Pewter Report and other sources out there, the guy that came in to play was not Baker Mayfield. It was Kyle Trask. Why?
I don't.
Well, you already know. You already know the answer, Curtis. The starter of this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is Baker Mayfield.
Did all the starters play with Trask today?
No, not really any starters play. I mean, Trey Palmer may be the exception there. You had a couple offensive linemen.
Well, can we go on and just say Trey Palmer is going to make this team?
Well, I definitely think it's safe to say that he's going to make this team. I mean, not only, and again, it just doesn't come down to what he's done in the preseason opportunities. It also comes down to what he's done in practice. You saw the 65-yard impressive catch and run thrown by Kyle Trask there over Sauce Gardner. That was impressive, and you heard from Mike Evans. You heard it from him saying that Palmer had his most impressive practice.
Pete,
yes.
Pete, answer this question for me.
Sure, go ahead.
What was Baker Mayfield's numbers last week?
8 for 9, 63 yards, and 1 touchdown.
8 for 9.
Yep.
I'm still not impressed.
Well, I think, again, it's a lot of people are saying, these decisions are going to be made in the preseason, and I continue to tell people that I think this decision was made long ago because, once again, Baker Mayfield has the experience. Baker Mayfield has performed well in practice, and even though he has thrown some interceptions, obviously the Bucs feel more comfortable with going with him. Now, that's not to say that the job won't be opened up if Baker falters, which you hope this Bucs team can get off to a great start.
But if you falter, that shakes the confidence of the team.
Well, but it's easier again, and I heard this from the J.P. Peterson show, which, by the way, I'm joined up as a executive producer and co-host of from Sao Paulo, Antonio. It's a lot easier to go from Baker Mayfield to Kyle Trask instead of go with Kyle Trask to Baker Mayfield. Because if Kyle Trask starts right away and he doesn't perform well, then you ruin that kid's confidence. But if you start Baker Mayfield and you don't necessarily get off to a great start, then at least you have that bye week to get him ready. And I've been saying this forever now, ever since the offseason, no matter how much he's being paid or whatever else, this organization feels more comfortable with a veteran presence because, A, they still think they're in contention, which they certainly could be in the NFC South. They have the talent on this team that they think they can score some points. Obviously, again, you don't take a lot.
How did the defense look?
I mean, they didn't have any starters with the defense, but defense caused 3 turnovers. But I mean,
that just proves the scheme.
Yeah, but
that proves the scheme, and if the players play in the scheme the correct way.
Well, I mean, it comes down to what they've been emphasizing. They've emphasized this from last year. You know, they didn't cause a lot of turnovers. They wanted to do that. You heard from Carlton Davis. That's exactly what they wanted to do, and they've been able to do that.
The Super Bowl defense was causing havoc.
Right.
And that,
Exactly.
and it's the same. It's pretty much the same defense.
Right.
They've moved some players around, but it's pretty much the same defense.
Yeah.
I don't know this whole Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask thing. Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the veteran quarterback thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna tell you something. If Baker goes out here and he starts playing Jameis Winston ball, I say pull him immediately. Because I do not want to watch this team that still has potential to win this division.
Yeah.
Just throw it down the toilet.
Right.
Because I mean, Pete, like I said, I've said this before. You've been watching football for a long time. I've been watching. The unknown quarterback in the NFL is always the scariest quarterback.
Correct.
Because, I mean, what's the guy from San Fran? Just came out of nowhere last year. Brock Purdy.
Right.
It just out of nowhere. You're like, who is this kid?
Right. Exactly.
You know, so I don't know.
Now you're talking about Trey Lance being, basically a bust at this point. Who's going to be the third string? Yeah, I mean, I get it, and a lot of, and I'm not saying that Kyle Trask didn't perform well tonight.
No, he did.
It certainly seems from that reaction and that action from this team that if there were really a quarterback competition, wouldn't you see Baker Mayfield when John Wolford went out? No, you saw Kyle Trask instead.
Well, what I will say is this, and I didn't watch it. I'm gonna go home and watch some highlights from the game, but we've been watching Kyle for what, 3 years? Does his performances look better than prior years?
Yes, I would say he's definitely improved. He's definitely improved.
Okay.
He's gotten better. He's still, again. It's hard. It's tough to tell, right? Because
he's probably still raw.
He's still holding the ball. In my opinion, he's still holding the ball too long. Is it because he's trying to read? Is it because guys are not getting open? I mean, there's a multitude of things, Leo word, of what's going on. And then when you're not getting the time to throw the ball, that doesn't necessarily help out. And they had some passes tonight that were dropped, to be fair. But still, putting up some good numbers, 20 for 28, 218. Right.
When you're not, I'm going to say this, and they can say whatever they want to say. When you're not playing with the starters, it always looks different.
Right.
It always looks different.
Right.
Like there's. I mean, I'm not knocking the wide receivers or backup tight ends or backup offensive line, backup running. I'm not, but there's a difference why some guys are starters and why some guys aren't.
Yeah. And I got to apologize, everybody. I don't know what's going on with Spectrum Internet tonight. Thank you, Spectrum, once again for screwing the pooch on this internet.
This guy sucks.
I mean, seriously, I'm looking at it, and I'm so disappointed. I mean, I pay all this money, and the internet is garbage right now. So I do apologize. Thanks a lot, guys, for sticking with me. I guess we're back out of it. So.
Well, all I know is listen, this is my team. Win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna be here, and let's go Bucs, man.
Let's go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna support this team, and you know what? For his sake, and I'm gonna say this with the bottom of my heart. For his sake, I hope Baker does pretty good.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't,
well, I think the fans out there hoping that Mayfield doesn't do good. I mean, are you hoping for the first-round pick? Are you hoping for Trask to start? I mean, you should be hoping for wins. No matter who starts. Look, if Kyle Trask, if Todd Bowles says tomorrow, Kyle Trask is going to be the starter, or we're still going to have this quarterback competition going into Baltimore, fine, do it. If Kyle Trask is the starter, I don't necessarily feel that great about it because he only has 9 snaps in the NFL, but I'm not hoping for him to lose. I'm not hoping for this team to lose.
But here's the thing. Okay, and I'm going to use this as an example. It might be a terrible example, but I'm going to use it as an example. Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns.
Correct.
Okay. you traded, you got rid of Jameis.
Yep.
You went out and got Brady.
Correct.
Now, we almost made the playoffs with Jameis.
Correct.
If you almost make the playoffs with one of these guys.
Well, I don't think you were. I mean, you were close. You were close to doing that, but the decision making came back to haunt him, and that's the big time key with Baker. Can he get the decision making under control? Can you not throw interceptions?
That's where I'm getting.
That's the biggest concern.
If you almost make the playoffs, or you make the playoffs with these kids,
right?
Are you confident going into your future with one of them? If you do make the playoffs. My thing is this, and me and you had this conversation a couple of weeks ago.
Sure.
The NFL has changed so much.
Yeah.
Where you can give up 2 first-round picks and go up and get a top first-round pick, the top pick in the draft.
Right.
And to me, first-round picks aren't as valuable as they used to be. They're really not. I mean, they are. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Because there are some prospects where we'd be like, well, you can't miss, but then you'd be like, oh shit, what happened? Excuse my French. But it's easier. Nobody's going to do the Mike Ditka and trade all their picks away for Ricky Williams.
No, they're not going to do that because that's not a good move.
Absolutely not.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Good job. Hey, good job for our backups, going out there playing. This is the football I love to watch, though, because these guys, they go out there and they play their hearts off because they have something to prove.
Yes, agree.
These guys really do.
Agree, man. Good stuff tonight, man. As always, let me go ahead and give you the macho, man.
Yeah!
Appreciate the call.
Right,
Use
brother.
the second call if you want to. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. I'm glad that the internet is back again. Thank you, Spectrum. I guess there was a storm going through the area or something. That's supposed to happen when you have a satellite dish, not internet that you pay for over $150 for. Okay? So get your stuff straight. Just saying, get your stuff straight. All right, let's go out to the comments. Holy stuff, we won the game. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right. Roger Shoe, Bucs won. Yes, they did. Did you Bears win?
Yeah.
I don't know. Give Mayfield Hope Counseling phone number. Well, once again, I think the breaking news of the night, and this is not official by Todd Bowles by any means, but you would just assume when John Wolford goes out with an injury to his neck in the third quarter, who comes in? You would see Baker Mayfield if there's a competition. No, you don't. You see Kyle Trask instead. So I think it's pretty easy to assume that Baker Mayfield most likely is your starter going into week 1, but we will get the official word here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television going by tonight. Baker is your starter. KR, hell yeah. Bucs win. Absolutely. Ed says, Master Peter Blake, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Roger Shoe says, good night. I'm out. Well, good night.
Acknowledge me.
Go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs. Let's go! Let's go out to KR. Hello, quarterback number 1, Baker Mayfield. Now, do you get the captain patch after next week? KR, you're a smart guy. You would assume that if he's not coming in, the Bucs have seen whatever they have to see at this point, right? We're just assuming because there is nothing official yet from Todd Bowles. But if there is a quarterback competition, then again, you would have saw him in the third quarter, and you didn't. And again, just to update the John Wolford situation, he went out with a neck injury, has all movement in his extremities, but he did go to a local hospital. So prayers to him. And now it remains to be seen because he's dealt with neck injuries before. So is he going to be healthy enough now? Do the Bucs go out and get a Carson Wentz or another veteran quarterback for this team as their third? Roger, be nice. So we now know that Baker's definitely the starter? I definitely, again, would assume. O-line played horrible. Raheem Jarrett balled out. Absolutely, O-line has been a big-time question mark. And it continues to be a big-time question mark. And you're not sure with Ryan Jensen. Nick Leverett didn't have a lot of great time tonight. The offense struggled for the first 4 drives. I told you about it. 9 for 13. All right, let's go out to Tristan. Tristan, welcome to the Evolution as I got my internet finally going. What do you have to say after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the New York Jets 13-6 in their first preseason win?
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch, to be honest with you.
I agree. I completely agree. I mean, there were some good things about it. Ugly, the first 4 drives, as I mentioned. I mean, what did you see tonight? Give me your analysis on this, because I think it's very telling, and I continue to go back to it, that if there were a quarterback competition, Baker Mayfield would have been playing, and he didn't. Trask came back in for Wolford.
Yeah, a part of me wants to punch down on Trey, but just looking at it, I don't really see where there's a lot of things around him to boost his confidence. Like the tight end position isn't necessarily secure. It just doesn't seem like we have a definitive guy. And then the offensive line breaking down, and then the running back situation without an offensive line, it looks pretty pedestrian.
Well, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think, though, you haven't necessarily played all your starters, right? You don't know what's going on with Ryan Jensen. You don't, Tristan Wirfs hasn't played. Matt Filer hasn't played. I think you're going to get more of a general idea, if you will, next week versus Baltimore at Raymond James. That's when you're going to play your starters most of that first half.
Well, what I anticipate for Ryan Jensen, I think he's going to start off on the pup list.
Right.
Like, I think he'll probably miss about 4 games, to be honest with you. Even if he is healthy, I don't think that he's going to rush him back if he hasn't seen in the preseason action and just try to go for the guarantee.
That's true.
Have him for the long haul of the season.
True.
As far as the O-line, aside from Tristan Wirfs, I don't know what starters that we haven't seen.
Well, they at least improved tonight. I mean, there were still some sacks and stuff like that, but you didn't have any procedural penalties. That was a good thing. Again, did Trask have all night long? No, he didn't. And you still had some drop passes. So once again, a preseason game number 2, you have things that you need to work on. There are major question marks there with Luke Gedeke on the right side at right tackle, and also the rookie there at right guard. And then you don't know who's going to be your center. So I agree with you. Running back situation, I think it's pretty set. Rashard White, but what did you think of the kid Sean Tucker tonight? I thought he was impressive, especially on that 4th down. You get a 27-yard run, which extends that drive. He showed speed. He showed explosiveness. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. 3rd and 16 play, goes for 16, then picks up when you go for another 4th down there. I mean, pretty impressive stuff by Tucker.
Yeah, I thought the kid looked good.
Right.
And I expect, though, even though Rashad is played it as the starter, I still think that job, that somebody can come through and take that job. But the problem lies, though, with the offensive line being obviously average at best, that I just don't see any running back being successful behind that line. I literally think that it's going to be the same situation we had the last 2 years.
Yeah.
To where it's a running back by committee approach. And hopefully some guy can get help at some point during the game.
Well, I think the 2 running backs are going to be there. It's going to be Rashard White and Chase Edmonds. After that, I think Sean Tucker's one out. I haven't seen anything that would make me believe that Keyshawn Vaughn has a place on this team. He may have a place because he was highly drafted, but he's shown me nothing. I don't know what he's done in camp. Just haven't seen enough. But I think Tucker at this point has an opportunity to not only be your 3rd running back, but possibly your 2nd running back because of some of the things that he's shown. And I, again, go back to this with the Bucs. They're very excited about him, have been very excited about him when they got him as an undrafted free agent. What else did you see tonight?
Yeah, and with Trask, I think the reason why Baker has been given the job, what I've noticed from Trask, I think Trask can be consistent, but from what I've seen, he's not dynamic in any area.
No.
Like, he doesn't squeeze throws in. Like, we know Baker will make mistakes, but Baker will take a chance.
Correct. You make those throws, and that's what I said, warn people about that when everybody was saying, well, the interceptions. Well, what are the Bucs asking him to do? And I still say this, that Baker is the perfect fit for a Dave Canales offense. I do. I think he can make all the throws. Now, again, it's going to come down to, and we've talked about it before, talked about it with the last caller in Curtis, Tristan. It comes down to decision-making and not turning over the ball, because that will absolutely just infuriate a guy like Todd Bowles. If you turn over the ball, especially with a defensive-minded coach that's conservative in nature, and you're emphasizing the run game, you can't have those turnovers to not only cost your team, but also put your defense behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that we're going to see what Brady was, and I hate to use it, but we can literally look at the Buccaneer timeline over the last 5 years. Right?
Yeah.
When Jameis had a decent running game, he wasn't old Jameis. He was whoa Jameis.
Right.
Then Tom Brady comes in and he does well the first year. We go to a Super Bowl, Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, and so forth. He has a run game to complement him.
Right.
We go back to last year to where when the quarterbacks are throwing more than 30 times a game, even with the GOAT, it means trouble. So if we're talking about somebody lesser than the greatest player of all time, throwing the ball 30 times a game, we're going to get into that Jameis Winston territory of where we're going to see Baker make a lot of mistakes.
Right.
But then we have to wonder, he's being asked to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game.
Yep. And that's exactly what you don't want. Good stuff, Tristan. Anything else here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television?
Hey, man, congrats on the promotion and doing the producer thing, man. Kudos to you.
Thank you, man. We'll be on 5 days a week, and I got to tell everybody out there, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop the sports web, because I'm going to be doing that 5 days a week, 10 a.m. to 12 on the J.P. Peterson Show. It's going to give me another opportunity, going to give you guys an opportunity to see me talk more sports. And then we're still going to do the sports web on Monday and Wednesday nights. Not only that, we're going to have your pre-show. We're going to have your halftime show when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to have your post-game show. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but we're going to figure that out. And also, credentialed with USF also. So you got me on Sundays. You got me on Saturdays. You got me Monday through Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12. To noon, and then you got me on Monday and Wednesday nights, and anytime here when there's breaking news on the sports web, you got me. Tristan, thanks a lot for the call, as always, my friend. Yes.
Hey, man, with all these dang little jobs you got, man, don't get fat this year.
Huh?
I say, don't get fat doing all that eating out the window and eating pizzas and stuff.
Oh, no, definitely not. We're going to stay in shape, and we'll keep the energy level up, my friend. We'll definitely do that. I appreciate you, as always, Tristan.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here. Don't get fat. I'm not going to get fat, but there's going to be some good eating out there. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528 after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick up their first win in the preseason over the New York Football Jets just in the season, 13-6. Just joking. I'm just joking out there with Jets fans. You guys want to call, give me your thoughts on what you saw tonight. Again, not only do I believe that Baker Mayfield is going to be your starter week 1, but Chase McLaughlin is going to be your kicker because Rodrigo Blankenship missed a 55-yarder. And then he missed another field goal later on, which was like shorter than that. So I think that competition is done. Chase McLaughlin will be your kicker. I mean, it's all going to be revealed here in the next couple days, and we'll have it for you on the sports web. Once again, your defense causes 3 turnovers. Most of the starters didn't play tonight. So what do you take out of that? D. Delaney had a good night. J.J. Russell had another turnover. That's encouraging. We already talked about Kyle Trask. You know, going back to it, 16 for 23 in the first half, 122 yards and a touchdown. Definitely thought he showed flashes of brilliance. He had some good throws, but again, you know, going back to the first 4 drives, 9 for 13, 54 yards, and nothing longer than 10 yards a pass. Is that because of the offensive line? Yes, not giving him necessarily the time. And then also maybe holding the ball too long, not being able to read the defense. Again, that's something you're going to have to look back on tape. But I think, again, it is very telling that Baker Mayfield didn't come out and start in that third quarter when John Wolford went out with injury. It was Kyle Trask instead. So there you go. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and keep on reading these comments, and we'll take your phone calls and give you more analysis. Raheem Jarrett, another guy that made his preseason debut and played pretty well. You can see why the Bucs are so excited about some of these players, right? Trey Palmer, everybody's excited about him like he's already won the third receiving job. Certainly possible, right? With the speed, with him getting the separation, with him catching the ball consistently. Only had one catch tonight, but you could see it. You could see it on film. You could see it in the game situations. You could see it in practice when he is dusting a Sauce Gardner. I love that. Absolutely love that. All right, Christopher O'Reilly, O-line played horrible. Raheem Jarrett balled out. Absolutely. I'd say so. This is from Yash. Bring that passion. This is what I've been saying about Trask since day one. Give him the opportunity and reps. He will get better now. Picture that performance with the starters. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens, right? We'll see if he gets the opportunity. Because if this team, and again, I'm assuming, nothing official, that Baker Mayfield is going to be your starter from week one. But if this team gets off to a slow start versus the Vikings, versus the Bears, versus the Eagles, versus the Saints and the Lions, you have that bye week, and then you can get him ready. You know, as a Bucs fan, I definitely don't want to see them, as I'm trying to fix my headphones here, which are just coming off of me tonight. God, everything is just not going right tonight when it comes to tech. So I'll just get my stuff together here. But if they get off to a bad start, and you go into that bye week, you get them that opportunity, right? So you got to get off to a fast start. As always, you got to get off to a fast start. It's going to be tough, but there's certainly some winnable games there. I definitely think he could beat the Vikings on the road. I'm not sure to think about what the Chicago Bears are. Lots of question marks there. They get DJ Moore for Justin Fields. Justin Fields is there. Can he take that next progression? They're a very young team. Defensively, question marks there. At home, your home opener. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't have to tell you about how great the Philadelphia Eagles were last year and how talented they are on both sides of the ball on Monday Night Football, with Rondé Barber being honored at halftime for his Hall of Fame induction. But you never know. You just never know. You never know about that, because the team may start out slow, because they may rest on those laurels, right? They may not be as good as they were last year. It's certainly a possibility. I'm just saying at the end of it, you got to get off to a great start. You do. All right, let's see here. Ed says, where is our fourth quarterback for camp? Let's see. Drake says, Palmer and Jarrett so far showing up in camp. In game, Trask showing up too. Trask had some pretty amazing throws that he did. Mr. Blankenship will be released now, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah!
Christopher O'Reilly, if our O-line would have blocked better, betting the run game would have had way more success. Yeah, you would like to see more success there. But Sean Tucker did play well tonight. And he did have that big run on fourth down, which is impressive. You could see why the Bucs were so excited about getting him as an undrafted free agent. And the only reason why most likely he is an undrafted free agent is because of the health problems. He may shock some people how good he is. He may shock some people, just saying. Let's go out to Ed. Trask made those future Amazon delivery drivers look like scrubs. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? You're not playing any starters. I don't disagree, although I don't trust McLaughlin beyond 45. Let's go out to Drake. Christopher O'Reilly showing some deep shot potential, which is something Dave Canales said would be important to deciding starting quarterback. But even as a backup, it's good to be able to do that. Absolutely. Janelle Davis, hey. What's going on, guys? That is Sean, the Sports Don's sister right there. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Met her, met the brother, Philip. And Philip looks just like Sean. I thought I was talking to Sean tonight. It's amazing. Great memories. Happy birthday to Sean the Sports Don. Depth is a glaring issue. Definitely think that's one of the issues on this team. Possibly, absolutely. And the offense runs a lot of play action rollouts. And Mayfield can throw a dart on the run. Absolutely. Those quarterback waggles, that's encouraging to see the pass play action come back into this offense. Whole new offense this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is running right now. And you could see there were some runs tonight, some mobility from Kyle Trask. Didn't know that Kyle Trask had that. He does. That was impressive. But you're definitely going to need a mobile quarterback in this offense. You can't have a guy that's going to sit back there in the pocket. You got to have somebody that's mobile, can move, can even throw on the run, but make good throws, not turn over the ball. Okay, let's see. I have some nonsense on hand in case you changed your mind. Appreciate you, Ed.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Christopher. Peter, your camera's out of focus. No, it is the Wi-Fi. We got that figured out. Thank you very much, everyone. Blankenship just lost the job. He absolutely did lose the job.
Yeah!
KR says, Sneak Vaughn, yikes, and Blankenship, adios, buddy, you're gone. We'll see. We'll make it official. Poor video quality. It's okay. We need to find quarterback number 3. Is it going to be Carson Wentz? Nothing official at this point when it comes to Wolford's injury. You hope that it's okay. Already people talking about quarterback. Do they bring in a veteran to back up Baker? It's a great question. I'm not sure. If you're happy with Kyle Trask, you go with Kyle Trask. You still probably need another quarterback on this team if Wolford's injury is, a serious one. So we'll keep you abreast of that situation. Peter wins a steak dinner, right? Peter H. Blake, Ira Kaufman reported that. We saw tonight. It is true. Absolutely. We had Ira Kaufman on this show. I told you last week. How could you doubt the sage of Tampa Bay? How could you? He's covered this team for how many years? He's inducted how many players in the Hall of Fame? You think he's just going to make up something to make it up? Come on, guys. Of course not. So, once again, Ira Kaufman showing why, he's a legend in the business. All right, so let's go out to Misador. Seriously, though, do they take a flyer on Flacco or Wentz? Remains to be seen. Maybe Carson Wentz. I don't know. Does he fit into this offense? He's mobile. Decision-making. Does that come down to, depends on if Jensen's healthy. I don't see us letting our running backs get creamed over and over, knowing our O-line isn't up to par. Christopher Cole, Peter having internet issues, not anymore. Thank you. Tucker looks scary good. He's going to make this team. Certainly looks like it. Christopher says Tucker can get to the outside fast and turn the corner. His acceleration is ridiculous. Absolutely. Ben Cornett, it's also hard to judge Trask without most of the starters playing. That being said, I don't buy the quarterback competition stuff. It's a good PR, in my opinion. Great comment.
Yeah!
As always, by Ben Cornett out of Las Vegas. Ed says, no way Wentz gets signed. Misador Palmer is the number 3. Certainly seems like it. Misador, 100% Peter. Thank you very much, Appreciate you.
Yeah!
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. The organization knew behind closed doors there was a little conversation to be had, but on the outside, it need to be fair, although there's nothing about Canales that doesn't fit Baker's abilities in the first place. Great comment.
Yes! Yes!
Great comment. And hold on a sec here. There we go. All right. Let's see if we can keep that down on like alfalfa sprout over here. Oba phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. New headphones, new everything. So just trying to get all used to it at this point. It's not all working out right tonight, but that's okay. But I do think it does fit his abilities. He does fit this offense, and he does have an opportunity, I believe, in my opinion, to turn around and have a Geno Smith type of resurgence, if you will. And, I'm not just saying that because of Dave Canales running this offense, who's never called plays before. But you look at what Canales did last year with Geno Smith. Is it possible? Absolutely. And then on top of it, Baker having the weapons that he's really never had. Don't give me the OBJ stuff, okay? Let's not go down that road because OBJ isn't as talented as Mike Evans. Sorry, don't care what anybody thinks. He's not as talented as Mike Evans or consistent for that matter. And then you got Chris Godwin, who's coming off a second year of a major injury, major knee injury. So you know that he's going to be more explosive, right? I mean, here's a guy that had over 100 catches, 1,000 receiving yards, was still productive. Do you think he's going to get better? I do. Offensive line, big time question mark. Tight end position, K-Don, we'll see what else anybody else does. Can they depend on the running game? Can the running game improve with Rachaad White? We haven't seen him in the preseason. Will we see him next week? Are you going to hold out more starters? We haven't seen Tristan Wirfs in a game-time situation. We heard in practice he's performed well. So there's major question marks, but there's always major question marks with every team, right? This is what you try to get figured out in training camp. This is what you try to get figured out in the preseason when it comes down to it. The fact that there was a question at quarterback doesn't bode well. Edwards says you don't have anything to lose if Baker starts except Todd's job if he sucks. Baker has weapons. Good comment. I'll go with that.
Yeah!
Baker has weapons. Brady became one-dimensional when under pressure. Short swing passes to Godwin and Julio. Sucks that Gage went down, but Palmer will step in. With the Canales offense, it's meant to capitalize off of having a weak O-line. Good stuff there, Christopher. Appreciate it.
Flawless victory.
Rays 13-1 over Los Angeles, top of the 6. How about your Tampa Bay Rays? You know what that means, right? Because they lost in the first game, but they still scored 6 runs, so it's pizza time.
Oh, yeah!
And then I believe the next day, it's also pizza time. I don't know about you. I don't know if you like Papa John's pizza or not, but you get half off for it. So take advantage of it out there, Tampa Bay Rays fans. Of course, we're talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the New York Jets in their first preseason win, 13-6. Open phone lines if you want to call up and talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Let's go out to David here. Overall, I think Kyle had a decent game tonight. He had some good throws, some bad ones, but people, he's not going to be thrown against second and third drinkers. I think he's saying drinkers. Are they drinkers? Third and stringers. I think they're second and third stringers in the regular season. It's a good point. Hope next week Godwin and Evans are in so we can see what we have with each quarterback as their playmakers. Alberto says only 8 for 9, but was perfect. So much more stats. Laren says, or Laron, Mayfield is trash. All right. I'm hoping we don't become the old us with Winston and Fitzmagic rotating starters every game. You're exactly right. Because, that's the problem. If you have 2 quarterbacks on this roster, basically you have no quarterback. So you want a starter. You want a guy that's going to be your starter from day one. You want him to perform well. If not, the season starts out slow, you put in Trask, and he's not the answer, then, basically the season, could be over.
This guy sucks.
But again, I tend to be optimistic. To a fault, maybe. But I still believe this team has talent. They're only a couple years removed from a Super Bowl win. What was the problem last year? Was it Brady's play? I think it was. Was it the distractions off the field? I definitely think it was. The big-time question from last year to this year was the offensive line. Has that been answered? I'm not sure. What do you say? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the New York Jets in their first preseason win, 13-6. Want to hear what stuck out to you. Trey Palmer with the catch, only 1 catch tonight, 33 yards, tipping the ball to himself. It looks like it's an underthrown pass by Trask. It does. But great catch. Okay. That's good to see. You got Sean Tucker had some big plays. Rakeem Jarrett. It's a shame that John Wolford went out in this game because for me, he was making some great throws. Beautiful throw to Rakeem Jarrett over the top there. Beautiful. Once again, you can see why they're so excited, that being the Bucs, about all these young kids. And even KJ Britt, who was good tonight, of course, goes out with a hamstring injury, leading the team with 5 tackles at the time. So hopefully that's not a lingering issue because that's a depth guy. He's not going to be a starter. It's going to be Devin White. But it's, definitely a shame to see him go out because you could see that he was playing well tonight. This offense is built for Baker. We need to get more. David says, is anybody else having problems where the show is pausing and buffering? Sorry about that again. Same, his camera is blurry. Okay, guys, mine's looking good. Ed says, Peter H. Blake, the picture is looking great now. Thank you very much, Spectrum. Spectrum is tripping as they always do. LFG, let's go! Let's go! All right, Christopher Cole says, hope the starters play at least a series or 2 just to get acclimated to tackling on defense, get some reps with the OL starting 5 together. I agree with you. Who is going to be your starters on that offensive line? Will you see Ryan Jensen practice this week? Are the Bucs being careful about it? Who's going to be the starter at center? Are you going to finally get a chance to see Tristan Wirfs versus the Baltimore Ravens, which, by the way, just signed Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year contract? Will he play? Will he make an impact? That defense overall is pretty good. And then, of course, you got Lamar Jackson, which you're going to see a little bit of. You're not going to see him the whole game, but you're going to see him that first half, and that's going to be a big test for this defense, where you see most of this defense play. Again, the number one objective in preseason football is to stay healthy. And the Bucs have done a pretty good job of that, with the exception, of course, Russell Gage being out for the year. That's your third wide receiver. Ryan Jensen was already coming in injured. You're not sure if he's going to play or not. So we'll keep you, again, updated on that situation. I believe Trask deserves it. Okay, good comment.
Oh, yeah!
It's looking better now. Thank you. David says the picture looks better, but you're still pausing and buffering. Great. Am I the only one that noticed that Kyle didn't throw a pass over 6 yards until almost the middle of the second quarter? Again, I'm going into the numbers here. The first 4 drives. This is not me making this up. This is out there. This is from the great Greg Allman of the Fox Sports. 9 for 13, your first 4 drives, and no longer passes of 10 yards or more. 4 drives. 4. So, there you go. Let's go out to Jay here. They will start Mayfield. He will Baker it up as usual, and Trask will be fresh and good to go, if anything. I'm hoping that Baker is not going to Baker it up. We've seen Baker do well. We've seen him, Jay, do well in 2020. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Sports Web after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Jets in preseason. Go.
Hey, Master Peter.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? What's going on, Edward?
I'm doing great.
All right, so what did you think of the game tonight?
Well, you know what? Unlike most people, I actually enjoy preseason football.
And why is that?
You get a chance to see some of the guys that you typically wouldn't see on the field, but might need to be available if somebody gets hurt.
And what players were you paying attention to tonight, in your opinion?
I really wasn't looking at any specific players.
Wow.
I was just looking at the execution of the offense, like the running game.
Okay.
And seeing the defense seemed like they were, I don't know if it had to do with when they practiced versus the Jets and they had a lot of fights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They came out like a little, they're bringing a little extra hot sauce on them.
Well, that's okay.
I feel like with the tackling, I think the tackling was good tonight.
The tackling was a lot better than it was last week. That's for sure. Absolutely. I agree with you. And I think it comes down to this, right? When you're hitting each other all the time, which is what this team has done throughout the training camp process, and then you have a joint practice versus a team that, let's face it, it's the NFL darling this year. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Dalvin Cook. Everybody's expecting them to be a Super Bowl contender, and you have an opportunity on Hard Knocks, by the way. Keep that in mind, because Bucs fans, that's going to be on Tuesday night. To hit somebody in the mouth, and the Bucs have multiple fights, I like that attitude. I like the way this team is going. I do.
Hey Peter.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if it was just me, but when Trask had to go in there to replace dude that got hurt,
John Wolford, yes.
Yeah, Wofford. Hope he's good. But he seemed to come out there and rip the ball a little extra hard. I don't know. Like, it seemed like he was trying to put it away, but, I don't know. He made a couple good plays, and, hey, we won the game, right?
Made some good throws. You won the game. But, again, I think it's telling going back to it that Baker didn't come out, because if this is a quarterback competition, it is truly a quarterback competition that the Bucs are putting out there. Then why didn't you see more of Baker? Because most likely it's done at this point.
I just hope that it's really a competition and not a chess game.
Well,
let's navigate the season. If Baker doesn't do so well, then we put Trask in, and if Trask doesn't do so well, put Baker back in. And
that becomes a quarterback merry-go-round, a quarterback musical chairs. And that necessarily isn't that good, because we've seen that before as Bucs fans, haven't we? We've seen where Ryan Fitzpatrick had a couple of good starts, and then you put back Jameis Winston, and then you go back to Fitzpatrick, and then you go back to Winston, and basically, your season is a disaster.
Hey, Peter.
Yes.
When Fitzmagic had his spell with the Bucs, we were the talk of the town before Brady came.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean? It was. We always had the weapons. We just needed the guidance.
Well, you had some good moments there with Fitzpatrick, but there was also moments where he became Fitz-tragic. So it didn't necessarily work out after you put him back in for Jameis Winston, and that's what you're worried about. That's definitely what you're worried about with this, quarterback musical chairs. You ruin the continuity on the team. You ruin the chemistry. That's why you want a starter going in. And once again, if Baker does struggle and this Bucs team does struggle, then the Bucs can go to Kyle Trask. But once again, I continue to try to be optimistic about this. I think they can get it done with Baker. I definitely think they can get it done with the talent that they have on this team. What else?
I think Baker might have a little extra motivation.
Well, yeah, of course. That's maybe his last team that he's going to play on.
Well, not just as a professional, but I know you saw about the little legal thing with his $12 million that's possibly not available to him. Hey, when you need to make some money, you're going to push even harder, right?
Well, you're not going to push a little bit harder to get that $12 million back, but also you're going to push a little harder because it's your livelihood, and this could be your last opportunity to start for a professional NFL football team. Good stuff as always, my friend. Don't be a stranger on the Evolution. Use that second call, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate you. There we go. Let me give you the Ric Flair right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We'll continue to read these comments. That's good to hear. Alberto says, I think next week we'll answer most questions. I think you're going to get an answer here. I'm just going to predict it. I think we're going to have some breaking news on Sunday morning by Todd Bowles that your starter for the Baltimore game is Baker Mayfield. I think that's what's going to be the breaking news. I think that's going to come out eventually. And then as far as the kicking competition, Chase McLaughlin has won it, in my opinion. Because Rodrigo Blankenship missed a couple field goals tonight. You just can't have that. You know how important field goal kicking is. And I get it. We're talking kickers. But it's important for this team. Because they were able to move away from Ryan Suckup. Because he was a guy that could make 30 and 40-yard field goals. But he couldn't make, the 50. Couldn't make the longer ones. Well, you saw Chase McLaughlin tonight, 48 yards. That's pretty good. That's definitely pretty good. And it certainly looks like in camp, he's been better. So I think that has been decided. You know, we didn't talk about the nickel situation. Etienne looks like he's going to be your nickel, another young kid. We hear all kinds of great things coming out of camp for him, out of Rutgers, how he looks like possibly the next Antoine Winfield Jr. Hope so. I hope so. God, if he's as good as that kid, and where you got Winfield Jr. as a second-round pick, I mean, the Bucs right now, and I get it, it's preseason. You haven't seen them in the regular season. But what they've done in training camp with all these young kids, Trey Palmer, Sean Tucker, Raheem Jarrett, Etienne, it's encouraging. Even Kalijah Cansey, even Yaya Diaby, who didn't play tonight. You didn't see a lot of them. I definitely think he's going to be in the plans for this team and this defense. I mean, the future is bright. And they still have talent. So what do you guys think? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. So good stuff, Alberto. KR says Carson Wentz. Yikes. Eric says Rays 15-1, top of the 7th. Why Baker? Because Baker has more experience. Because I believe this organization feels that he gives them the best chance to win. That he's done everything he's asked for, that he's been asked of in practice. Because he does take some chances and he does make some, he has some decision-making problems there. But he can make a lot of great throws. And I think Canales and Todd Bowles like where the direction of the offense is going with Mayfield at the controls. Just my opinion. All right, let's go out to Man Brown. Yeah, Baker first, but I still think Trask should get a chance if 6 doesn't pan out. I think it's certainly possible. I do. Good comment, guys.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah! Good comment. What? As always, keep on having those comments. Joshua says that wasn't the starting O-line. It didn't look like it. It wasn't the starting O-line. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And we talked about it last week. Kyle Trask played with the same offensive line as Baker Mayfield. And Mayfield was better than Trask. Again, though, it wasn't necessarily the best situation they put Trask in. He had an opportunity tonight. I think he performed. His numbers showed he performed pretty solid. But again, you go back to those 4 drives, you look inside the numbers, maybe not. And I think it's very telling that Baker didn't come out in the second half. Just saying. Eric, raise up. Absolutely. Could they afford a Carson Wentz? I know he has had issues on other teams, so he shouldn't be expensive. Good comment. I agree with you. Let's go out to David. It's like every 4 to 5 minutes it freezes up. I've clicked over to the other people's shows, and they're working fine. I rebooted my phone and also tried watching you on the other phone. It keeps doing it on them. Well, hopefully it's gotten worked out now. I believe that we keep 4 running backs. White, Edmonds, Tucker, Vaughn. If not, then it's the first 3, and Vaughn is out. I think Vaughn is out. Peter for days. I believe you will see Mayfield Trask for the game versus the Ravens and other starters playing. We shall see. Also, since Wolford is hurt, watch for another quarterback to be brought in for the Ravens game. Certainly possible, as we talked about. Welp, Todd Bowles said that both Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask will probably play next week in the 3rd preseason game. So, again, nothing official at this juncture.
Oh, yeah!
Let's go out to Edward again. Peter H. Blake, why are your lips crisp apple red? I have no idea what was going on with the Wi-Fi. Tucker is going to be a hidden gem. Say that from the day we signed him. Derek Jones says, I have zero idea what you're all doing. Judgmental when the guy ain't played 1 snap with starters and still playing good football so far. But here's some of y'all seem to think that Baker is good. Love you, Peter Blake. Love you too, sweetheart. Appreciate it. Going back to that comment, I think it comes down to this, right, Derek? You don't know what you have in Trask. You don't. You have 9 snaps his whole career. Baker has started. He's had starts. 69 games he started in the National Football League. He's shown flashes of brilliance. Has he ever had this talent? Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what you got. You're going to have an opportunity to see what he can do with the first starters. Most likely he's going to be your quarterback. Kyle Trask, I guess he's going to play next week. We shall see. But going back to it, I think at the end of it, right, the more sensible option, in my opinion, is to go with somebody who's done it, not necessarily somebody that's basically a rookie quarterback. I mean, you can sit here and say, well, you learned under Tom Brady for 2 years. Yeah, that's system. That's a different system now. This is Dave Canales' system, which, by the way, Baker has also been in this offense. So he would have that advantage. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be more successful, but I believe what they were thinking when they signed him in the first place as a veteran option, that he gives them the best chance to win now. Right now. You don't have to go through those growing pains with Kyle Trask. You have to go through that with every young quarterback. He's only had 9 snaps in the league. Nothing against him, but that's 9 snaps. You had 69 starts for Mayfield. With the weapons this team has, with the emphasis on the run game, the emphasis on the defense causing turnovers, which once again was pretty good to see, even though it wasn't necessarily your starters to cause turnovers. That's what you're looking at. And, Derek, everybody can have opinion on this show. Whether they're right or wrong, we can talk about it here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Wentz is not a third stringer. Well, in this league, he may be. Trey Palmer is the number 3 receiver, hands down. Good comment. Oh, yeah! Ed says, Baker did have the weapons, a strong running game, but Mike and Chris will make him better. I'll give you that. He did have the running backs, right? He had Nick Chubb. He did have Kareem Hunt. Wide receivers-wise, nothing like Mike and Chris, no. Javon says, well, Bowles started everyone will play in the next, as stated, Bowles stated everyone will play in the next preseason game. Well, there you go. There's your answer right there. I still think Baker is your eventual starter, but I may be wrong. Assumption on my part. The offenses will just be vanilla, so the offense is going to be a lot different. Jay says, Devon Outlaw, no one is wanting to hear that all starters will play versus the Ravens. I've been saying it. No one listening, jumping to conclusions. All right, let's go out to Mike. Mike, welcome to the Evolution here as your Bucs take care of the Jets for their first preseason win, 13-6. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man, I love the big touchdown by Trask.
Yeah?
To Palmer, who I think is going to be a future superstar.
Well, he has the opportunity, right? He definitely has the opportunity. Everything, you see from him, the kid has speed. He gets separation. He certainly seems like he's not too big for the moment. Again, you haven't seen the regular season. Everything you've seen in practice and in preseason checks out. But he definitely he checks all the boxes. And for me, he's definitely not a 6th-round pick. He's not playing like it.
No, he's playing like Scotty Miller 2.0.
Yeah. Well, he looks better than Scotty Miller 2.0 because Scotty Miller's just, but the exception is the Super Bowl year, right? But, it's fly route. This kid could be the total package, right? He could be. He got a good route tree. He can catch the ball consistently. He does the little things, runs good routes. I mean, he's got it. It's there. You can see it. It's it.
There's the X factor.
Right.
And you know what though? I'm peculiar on. It could be. I wonder if he is be used on like an end around packages.
Well, I definitely could see that. I mean, you're going to use his speed, right? I mean, he's as fast as anybody in the league, so you could definitely see that. Devin Tompkins, I think, is going to return kicks. Had a good return tonight until it was nullified with the penalty. I mean, that was disappointing to start the game.
We have to clean those up because we want to see another. You want to have another ghost of Donovan Smith return.
No, you definitely don't want that. And I hope Luke Gedeke is not the next coming of Donovan Smith and going all the way back to Kenyatta Carter. Not Kenyatta Carter. What, Kenyatta Walker. Yeah.
Or so. But now back to the Rays.
Yeah, back to the Rays, yes.
I don't think, how many either like 50-50 on the whole Wander Franco thing where he's indeed guilty, or
I don't know.
This is another.
It doesn't look good
Kobe,
to me.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Colorado.
It looks like there's a lot more. There's a lot more victims in it. It's under. I'm not going to sit here and speculate on it. I'll just say this: everything that's come out this week is not good, and we'll see how it plays out. But it's tremendous that the Rays lose a superstar, right? And they take 2 out of 3 from the Angels. That's tremendous. On the road. That game last night showed you how resilient the Rays are, right? They give up a grand slam to Shohei Ohtani. Most teams would have given up a 5-1. They come back. They blow the lead. It seems like the Angels have all the momentum because in the top of the ninth, the Rays have 2 on, okay, and no out, and they go into a triple play, and you think they're going to lose. Fairbanks strikes out Shohei Ohtani to get out of it, and they come back and win with Luke Raley and a single after being 0 for 4 for 4 strikeouts. I mean, say whatever you want about the team, because you can. You can say whatever you want to when it comes to the team having pitching injuries, having injuries overall, drama, but they find a way to win, and it's tremendous. 2 out of 3 from the Angels. Get out of there and hopefully don't have to deal with Hurricane Hillary. Mike, anything else here on the Bucs?
Not too much. I think also the whole thing where I keep hearing reports on how Jensen may miss the first few games of the season.
I don't know. I don't know what the status is at this point. He hasn't practiced, so we'll see where he goes. We'll see if he practices this week, and maybe we'll play in some game situations. But that also is not looking good. Mike, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. Let me go out to Eric. Eric, welcome back to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Yes, what's the breaking news?
We got the news report. According to head coach, Todd Bowler just says both Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask will play in the final game of the preseason. This said because the victory is over for the Jets, he refused to name the starting quarterback yet. According to Zach, thinks this is ridiculous. That Baker is obviously the guy at this point, but is Bowles making a mistake by not naming Baker? It should be Mayfield only playing practice with the starters moving forward, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I don't know. That's surprising to me.
Like 2 minutes ago.
Right.
Couple minutes ago.
Well.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, you would assume. But, again.
Against the airplane, both quarterbacks will play in the final game. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
this is who wins. Who do you think is going to win it, though, man?
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's going to be your starter.
You think it's going to come down to the touchdowns to get more touchdowns?
I think that, again, even though they're both playing, I think the decision has already been made, but that's just me. I think it comes down to practice, and I think it also comes down to who gives you the best chance to win. So.
He had more interceptions in preseason, in training camp.
Again, what are they asking him to do? What are those throws consisted of? We don't know that stuff. We don't know. Yeah. But again, we always go back to it, right? Todd Bowles preached that his quarterback can't turn over the ball. So, yeah, we'll see how it works out. Eric, thanks a lot.
Wow, that's the news at this hour. Wow, I'm surprised.
I am surprised too, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web.
Hey, Peter, Sports Talk Web. How you doing? I have a quick question about the 3rd annual pre-Labor Day car show.
Yes.
Is that going to be at the stockyard?
Yes, it's out. It's out in front of the stockyard. Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, and that's going to be just a big car show where people could just come in. Anybody could come in with their kids, and you have to pay $25 to sign your car in. Correct?
I believe that is some of the details that we're going to get on Monday night from one of the yes, but definitely come out September 3rd. We'll be out there. We'll be doing the evolution of sports talk television. You have a car show. You have car audio, trophies, everything like that. Definitely get out there and definitely come on the Sports Web. We'll get you on camera, okay?
Okay, great. So you're definitely going to be there.
I'll be there. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to be there.
All right, Peter. We'll see you there.
All right, buddy. See you there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Yep, absolutely.
Love this.
Thank you. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I love your show, by the way, the Sports Web. It's awesome. I love
Thank you. Appreciate you as always. Thanks a lot for calling the evolution of sports talk television. All right.
You have a great night.
All right. Good stuff there. Open phone lines if you want to get in on the conversation. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I tell you what, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting their first preseason win over the New York Jets. Well, I don't know if I should take this call or not. It's restricted. Let's see. Welcome to the Evolution.
Yes.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Tate calling from Bayshore.
What's up, Tate? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Okay, so just a little bit on the game tonight. I really feel that Kyle Trask made a big jump.
Okay.
And basically trying to secure his spot, his chance of being a starting quarterback.
Okay.
I still think it's up in the air. But I'm still leaning towards Baker right now. But what Trask did, it definitely impressed me. The second thing is with the injury to Wolford. Why aren't the Bucs? I know the Bucs in the past have carried 4 quarterbacks during preseason. I don't understand why they're not carrying an extra quarterback this year.
Well, I think they were happy with the 3 quarterbacks at this point, and then if you take away one of those, if you go with 4 quarterbacks, and it's an astute observation by yourself here, if you go with 4 quarterbacks, then it takes away from one of those position groups, right? So you can't have an extra wide receiver or a running back or even a defensive lineman or even an offensive lineman at this point because there is so much, upheaval there with injuries and not knowing if Ryan Jensen's going to come back. So to answer your question, it takes away from all the other position groupings.
So going into next week, then are they going to sign another quarterback?
I would think you do. I mean, it just depends on, and again, I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but if Wolford is hurt in some way, I would definitely expect I would expect the Bucs to sign another quarterback. Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last point question is, why is Mike Evans he's not getting the respect that he deserves?
He never gets the respect that he doesn't deserve. Tate, this is great, and you should definitely call back. Use that second call if you want to. Great call, by the way. Thanks a lot for calling the Evolution. I'll keep you on here for this. Madden came out with a number, so I'm going to give this number out. Watch for my Facebook page, and I want every Bucs fan to call Madden and give them reasons why Mike Evans should be ranked higher than a 90, because it is preposterous that is such a low ranking for a man that has done it consistently, has never really had a consistent quarterback besides Brady. I mean, you look at his quarterbacks in his past, 9 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and he's a 90. Just disrespectful. Good stuff, Tate. Thanks a lot for the call. Yeah! Appreciate you, as always. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk more with you, Bucs fans, after the Bucs win over the Jets. Keep it locked here on the Sports Web. Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. We are definitely going to be here. Let me go ahead and get the announcement up. Is the third annual pre-Labor Day car show by Twisted Outlaws on September 3rd at the Stockyard, by the Stockyard there in Holiday, Florida. The Sports Web will definitely be out there. You'll have raffles, vendors, cash prizes, show cars, car audio, and of course the evolution of sports talk television. Get out there. The address is 1916 U.S. Highway 19 in Holiday, Florida. Here we go.
The third annual pre-Labor Day car show is speeding your way September 3rd, only at the Stockyard in Holiday, Florida, with cash prizes, raffles, and vendors from all over Pasco County. Don't miss out on this used car show competition, where we are handing out trophies for Best of Show, Best Audio Setup, Best Paint Job, Best Original Design, and many, many more. Call today for more information.
I love that. Here's where I will be on September 3rd. All right, there you go. Welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. After your Tampa Bay Buccaneers get their first preseason win over the New York Jets, 13-6. I get it. It's just preseason, but it's still a win. A win is a win. Of course, your Tampa Bay Rays take 2 out of 3 over the Los Angeles Angels. With a doubleheader today. They lose the first one, but they win the second one. So open phone lines if you want to talk about all those things, including your Bucs. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. Just a reset here. Kyle Trask for the night. 20 for 28, 218, 1 touchdown. And according to Todd Bowles here, this just coming from his press conference, both quarterbacks are going to see playing time. So there has been no decision at this point of who's going to be the starter from week 1, but I'm telling you, I definitely believe it's going to be Baker Mayfield. I may be wrong. All right, let's continue to read the comments, and then we will get out of here for the night. We'll see you on Monday night, unless, again, there is some breaking news involving, of course, your Bucs, your Rays, or your Lightning. Since we were keeping score, Mayfield long passes was 20 yards, and he was 8 for 9 for 63 yards, correct? Because we didn't throw any deep passes in the beginning. Do you think that is what hurt our running game? I definitely think so. I mean, if we're talking about last year, you didn't have any deep passes, right? Because you couldn't get any time. And in this preseason, you really haven't had, the exception there of the 33-yard pass, which, by the way, was underthrown. Good tip-up by Trey Palmer. But, yeah, I mean, and, of course, you're not going to see a lot because it's preseason, it's vanilla stuff. But it did hurt this team last year. Lack of 20-yard plays. That hurt this team. Why was that? Well, was it because of your offensive line? Yes. Was it because of the play calling? Yes. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the Sports Web after your Bucs take care of business over the Jets.
Hey, Master Peter.
What's going on, Kirby? How you doing, bud?
One closing thought, because I know you're getting ready to wrap it up for the night.
Yes, sir.
Where do you think that our team, the Buccaneers, would be today if they didn't sign Tom Brady and we won the Super Bowl and, made a good run? Where do you think we would be at?
What do you mean? I don't understand. The question is, where would the Bucs be if they didn't sign Tom Brady?
Yeah, so let's just pretend that you know our climate now, right? So we're probably a few feet away from a rebuild right now, but still we really got some great players on our team.
Sure.
So Jameis contract year.
I don't think you win a Super Bowl with Jameis. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Right. So potentially we don't re-sign Jameis,
Right.
or we do.
Right.
For that $30 million that he wanted.
Or you go with Teddy Bridgewater, and I don't think you win a Super Bowl with Teddy Bridgewater either. Because here's the thing. You sign Brady, right? And then you get Gronk. And then not only do you get Gronk, you get Fournette. And then you also get Antonio Brown, who, even though he quit on this team, was a big factor down the stretch for this team to win a Super Bowl. So to answer your question, no, I don't think you win a Super Bowl with just any other quarterback. Brady was the guy that you had to do it with.
Well, that wasn't really my question, but
okay. What is
I see where you're going with it. I think we just probably be still in perpetual mediocrity.
Well, it's certainly possible, right? So let's not think about that. Let's not pretend if that happens, because we could go down to pretend land here. What happens if you kept Steve Young? Hell, what happens if you kept Doug Williams for all those years ago with all the success you had early? I mean, the Bucs in the 70s were the fastest team in NFL history, and people talk about the first 2 years, the fastest team in NFL history to make the playoffs with Doug Williams. What happens if you keep Doug Williams? What about Leroy Selman? What if he could avoid injury? What if yes.
I got a thought for you.
Sure, go for it.
A lot of folks on the big networks are comparing Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets to Brady coming to our team, right?
Well, I think that's also, they're comparing Matt Stafford going to the Rams. But here's the problem with that. Is Aaron Rodgers as good as Tom Brady? I wouldn't say he is. I mean, a lot of people would say his numbers, the team that he's got around him is pretty good. The defense is a lot better, but of course,
Peter. But no, I'm not agreeing, but I know there's a camp that says Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time.
Well, there's
even
also
without all the rings.
It's the same camp that says LeBron James is the greatest player of all time over Michael Jordan. It's preposterous.
Whoa, don't now vote me. I'm just talking about it.
I know. No, I'm just saying that to the people that are out there, because there are people out there right now that are just offended by saying that statement.
But look, so Rodgers was able to clear up the cap room to bring Cook in.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He brought a couple of his dudes in, but he didn't. I think the biggest thing with Brady is he brought Gronk. Gronk was, we already had JPP. We already had, Levante and Devin White as an emerging star.
Sue. Yep. You're absolutely right.
He didn't have a muscle like,
you didn't have an inline blocker.
Brady and Gronk is like left hook, right hook, right?
Yeah, for me, it's not even what he does when it comes to the passing game. It's actually what he does in the passing game as that extra blocker, that inline blocker. Watch the Washington game.
Oh, yeah, he's terrifying. He's terrifying.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's definitely amazing on that.
But I still do think the Jets can make a run, but how can you jump over the Bengals, Kansas City? I mean, the Chargers, they're just like, that collapse versus Jacksonville was epic.
Well, it's coaching. I mean, can the coach get over? Can Staley, I think he's definitely on the hot seat at this point, but you got Justin Herbert. You signed him to an extension. I think Baltimore's improved. They finally got Lamar Jackson some weapons. They could be in that conversation. Joe Burrow, hopefully that injury isn't lingering, because they got a plethora of talent. Of course, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl winner there.
Right.
And you have the Broncos, who have.
Whoa! I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think Russell's going to have a bounce back year?
I hope so.
He's got to, right? He has to.
I mean, was it coaching? You're about to find out if it's coaching or not.
It had to be.
Yeah,
it had to be.
You're about to find out, because.
But the good thing is the same coaching that Russell had is now on our team.
Well, there you go. Yeah, Dave Canales,
yes.
who started out coaching at 28 years old under. Of course, guy escapes my Pete Carroll, of course.
What is the we had, like, when Brady was there, we had the End of Current. What's the Buccaneers little YouTube show? called now? Under the Surface?
Under the Surface, something along those lines, yes.
The Dave Canales episode was really good to show kind of like, you're not ever going to see 100% how a person is, but he gave a lot of good insight onto his style and all that.
Well, Kirby's
so
he's got lots of charisma. There's question marks if he can call plays, but he's been around Pete Carroll. He's been in that coaching tree. He started out as a wide receiving coach. So I definitely think he knows his way around, and the Bucs do have talent offensively. So once again, I think he'll do just fine. And who knows? He could be a potential head coaching candidate, if not for this team, but an eventual team if he does well with this offense. Kirby, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. As always, go Bucs, my friend, all right?
Oh, yeah! You know it.
All right, man. We'll see you soon. There you go. Open phone lines if you want to call in. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Damon in North Carolina. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television after not your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know you're kind of a Bengals fan. I mean, what's this call all about tonight? Welcome.
Well, this call is all about Leprechaun back to the hood, baby.
Well, listen, we're doing a sports talk show here right now after the Bucs beat the Jets, so you got to have something sports related here to talk about, cuz.
And I'm very happy that the Bucs actually won a game.
Right.
Especially over the Jets.
Right.
Who are the Jets?
Just in the season. That's what the Jets are.
Oh, okay. But I just wanted to say, yeah, the Bucs are doing decent, I suppose, especially with all the shit that's happened this past year. But come and join us for some horror movie podcast talking with Peter.
Yes, that's my cousin right there, Mr. Damon Beatty. We do a horror podcast out there. We'll definitely get on that. We're talking sports right now, my friend. I appreciate the call, as always, and the support, okay?
Oh, absolutely, brother.
All right, man.
Later, Tater.
I love you, brother. All right, good stuff there. It's a family affair here. You got mom, you got aunt, you got your cousin watching. Beautiful thing. And once again, happy birthday to Sean, the sports don, who I felt like was my brother and is definitely a founding father of the sports world. As we will always salute him and always remember the great Sean Jett. I got a chance to meet his family tonight. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Made my night, made my week. If the week could not get any better, right? I mean, new job with the JP Peterson show. That's not bad, right? 5 days a week to talk sports. I mean, I don't talk enough on this show. Now you give me 5 days. I mean, what are you doing? And then the Bucs win, and then you get a chance to meet Sean, the sports don's family, which is a beautiful thing. And then tomorrow we got off, and then the Rays win 2 out of 3. I mean, life is good. It is good right now. All right. So yeah, answer your question. Yes, I definitely think it hurts the running game. When Wolford gets better, he can be somebody to keep an eye on. Cornell, thanks a lot. What's up, Peter Blake? What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Yeah! Let's go out to Jay. No, it wasn't the starting O-line, brother. It wasn't Peter H. Blake. If he was the bona fide starter, wouldn't he sit? Baker, agree. And from what I've seen, I'm not happy with their tight ends blocking. Definitely a big-time question mark. Christopher Cole. Etienne didn't play tonight, so odds are he is the nickel. It's everything you hear at this point, Christopher. Yes! Yes! All right, let's go out to Jay. The freezing isn't the show. It's Meta. Thank you, Meta. Thank you, Spectrum. Carson is not the answer. Ed, we don't need anyone else trying to win a spot at quarterback. We just need someone to hold down the practice squad. David says, everybody says Kyle learned behind Tom Brady. I think it was ESPN. That said, Tom Brady in his 20 years had 64 quarterbacks behind him through those years, and only one, and Jimmy Garoppolo, ever did anything that's not good. Odds ask Harry. Good comment. I like it. Yeah! I agree with you. Not every quarterback that's under Tom Brady has success. They don't. They really don't. I mean, Matt Castle played for the Patriots when Tom Brady was hurt, made the playoffs, earned a contract. Jacoby Brissett was under Brady, had some success. You know, it's not the end-all, be-all. Mayfield had Landry and OBJ, didn't he? And Landry's okay. Again, OBJ, inconsistent attitude problems. Peter H. Blake, do you think Bulls will have his first winning season in a while? I do. Trey Palmer is Scotty Miller 10.0. Agree with that. Like that comment.
Oh, yeah!
Edward, I truly hope so. Facts, says Kirby. Trey Palmer is our number 3. Jay, I meant Trey Palmer is Scotty Miller 10.0. I know what you said. Can we talk about how the Chiefs have rated a bunch of our free agents in the past few years? I mean, what did you lose? You lost Donovan Smith. You lost Ronald Jones. What have those guys done? I mean, Donovan Smith, we'll see what happens. Ronald Jones, what did he do? You have the safety there. What's he going to do? And it escapes me because it's getting late here. I'm trying to think of who it is that you got on the safety situation. And it'll come to me in a minute. Mike Edwards. I think you're improved with Ryan Neal, right? Pro Football Focus, number 1 safety. You're pretty good there. I think that secondary is pretty good. If they can, knock on wood, stay healthy. Get Baker the first 4 games. If he struggles, then go to Trask. I mean, we talked about it. Peter H. Blake, I go by Kirby. Thank you, Kirby. Appreciate the calls as always. Peter H. Blake, you're at 100 on Baker. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah!
As always, go progressive. David says, sounds like the last caller was a plug for the car show. He may have been. That's okay. Once again, if you don't know, let me see where that ad is. The 3rd annual pre-Labor Day show by Twisted Outlaws on September 3rd, hosted by the Stockyard. Yours truly would be out there. The evolution of sports talk television. We'll be covering that day, probably starting at noon, getting out there early because we'll see what the rest of the day holds. There may be another little surprise there. I won't say it yet, but we'll see what happens. How about that? Let's see here. Damon says, hey, thank you, Damon, once again for calling in. They have Donovan Smith. Great. Keep him. Don't forget that Cephas Johnson is a quarterback who plays wide receiver. He is a quarterback. Is he going to play quarterback, or are they going to keep him a wide receiver? 4.57. Mike's probably had a 90 rating because he's not blazing fast. Lame rating, though, absolutely. I'm going to give out that number on Monday. I'm actually going to make a call on the evolution of sports talk television on why Mike Evans should be ranked higher, and I hope all you Bucs fans join me. How about that?
Oh, yeah!
Carson Wentz is available. Bobby Rain says absolutely. Ryan Griffin still available. Absolutely. Bucs are loaded at wide receiver, and that Jared kid is good.
Flawless victory.
Let's go out to Jay. If the Bucs didn't sign Brady, Jameis would still be here. That's simple, but would it be the same old thing? Would it be? I think it would, because I think the players that came here following Brady wouldn't have came here for Jameis. He's not allowed to get $1 million for sitting the bench. Jay, he's had enough millions of dollars for that. Bobby says, what happens if we had Steve Young and Bo Jackson? There you go. I mean, there's your biggest what if of all time if you're a Bucs fan, right? I mean, what if you don't get rid of some of these quarterbacks that you had in the past that had success when they left? Trent Dilfer comes to mind, although I think Trent got every opportunity. But, what was the basis of him being successful with the Baltimore Ravens? DLG quarterback. Don't lose the game quarterback. Don't turn over the ball. Depend on your defense, which was lights out at that point, which some people would consider was the greatest defense of all time. Sorry, Bears fans, 2000 Ravens. That's what he was known for. Chris Chandler going all the way back, right? Because I do also a podcast called the No Quarter Given podcast on the Buck Power Podcast Network. Chris Chandler taking the Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Birds, to the Super Bowl against the Broncos and properly losing, but having some success. He was also a Bucs quarterback. We talked about Steve Young, Doug Williams winning MVP for the Washington football team, of course, the Redskins at the time. What if? We could play what ifs all day long if you want to. What if they drafted this player? What if they drafted that player? Right? What if they kept Warwick Dunn? Although they won a Super Bowl with Michael Pittman. But what if? What if? There's always one. I was talking to one of my friends, Pat Yasinskis, at the time. And there was talk that Jerome Brown was trying to get Reggie White. And they were both going to come down here and join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is a true story. What if that happened? Reggie White, single-handedly one of the greatest free agents of all time, picked up by the Green Bay Packers. But what if Jerome Brown joins the Bucs? Then you never have Warren Sapp. But we could play what ifs all night long. I love this game. I believe BA moves on from Winston after 30 interceptions that year. I mean, talk was it was going to be Teddy Bridgewater. Is that going to get you the Super Bowl? I'm not necessarily sure. Peter H. Blake, do you think the Saints should be favorites to win the NFC South? Definitely think they're going to be favorites because they did upgrade the quarterback situation with Derek Carr. But what are the weapons there besides Alvin Kamara, who's going to be suspended early? Michael Thomas? What has Michael Thomas done the last couple years?
Shitter!
Nothing. Slant guy, slant boy has done nothing. The defense gets a little bit older. The Bucs swept them last year. Well, why are the Saints the eventual favorites? Yeah, because of Derek Carr. Can Derek Carr pull it off? Who's their coach? Dennis Allen? It's not the other guy that's in Denver now? I like the Bucs' chances. I do. I like the Bucs' chances in that division. Let's see here. You're not ready. You're not ready.
Oh, yeah!
Kirby says Blaine Gabbert and Justin Watson, Mike Edwards. Yes, the greatness of Blaine Gabbert, Justin Watson, and Mike Edwards. Guess what? You're wrong. No, you are wrong.
This guy sucks.
Just a few, absolutely. Jay says Trent Dilfer didn't do a whole lot in the Super Bowl with that D. Did barely throw a touchdown there. Trent Dilfer, 153 yards, 1 touchdown in a Super Bowl, had 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He skated to a Super Bowl ring. Still won a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what people look at. But you're exactly right. He was a DLG quarterback. Just throwing it out there. Another quarterback that wins a Super Bowl, right? Doug Williams, the other. Steve Young, the other. I mean, what ifs? We could play what ifs all night long again. Yeah, Brown grew up in Brooksville. That is a true story. True story. Great show tonight. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you as always. Jameis is out playing Carr in camp. That will be a story if he beats him out. Peter H. Blake, you know our guy Gruden is lunking on the Saints sideline. Yes, he was doing some consulting. And I'm giving you crap about Dilfer, Peter. Oh, I know you are. I definitely know
Oh, yeah!
I know you are. So reset tonight because I think we're going to wrap it up at this point. The Bucs go on to win 13-6 over the Jets to secure their first preseason win. Standouts tonight, of course, Kyle Trask. It starts at quarterback, 20 for 28, 218, 1 touchdown. The telling thing is, though, when John Wolford goes out of the game, he comes back in instead of Baker Mayfield. But according to Todd Bowles and his presser, both quarterbacks will see action next week. Rodrigo Blankenship missed a couple field goals from 55 and 32. More than likely, he is done at this point. Chase McLaughlin with a 48-yard field goal right there, so it looks like he's won the job. Trey Palmer, once again, impressive, even though with 1 catch. Fantastic catch, tipping the ball to himself, a la Joe Jaravicious in 2003, to open up the link on Monday Night Football and beat the stinking Philadelphia Eagles. 1 catch, 33 yards, touchdown. Sean Tucker with a long run on 4th down. 7 carries for 37 yards, including, again, the 27-yard run. D. Delaney nearly with 2 interceptions, but a shoestring interception tonight. The defense causing turnovers. You got to love that, even though it is not your first string, and most of your first guys didn't play tonight. Decent game, great show, good night. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And Baker didn't suit up, though, so he couldn't go in, I believe, anyway. Well, he was on the sidelines there. He had his uniform, but he didn't go in. So, and I think that's telling. Again, D. Delaney is going to make this team, certainly seems like he's going to make this team. We'll see what this organization does here going forward, who they cut. Raheem Jarrett also very impressive. 3 catches for 84 yards here. Let me just look at my numbers as I'm just going through it right now. He was also impressive, making his debut in preseason. So it certainly seems like the Bucs not only have some gamers on offense, young-wise, but also defensively. Let's see if this team can get healthy, Stay healthy. Thanks a lot for tuning in, as we always do here in a post-game edition after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick up their first win over the New York Jets, 13-6. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube, like I Love St. Pete, The Hub, Amped Up Sports, and of course Bucs Life. And do 3 things for me on this Victory Saturday, Sunday morning. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. One more time, the Bucs win 13-6 over the Jets. Have a good night. And of course, as always, go Bucs. Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Bumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com.